Sioux Falls. This is Ashley Bartholomew.
And Elena Rogi.
And this is our podcast. So we are going to do a little introduction here since it's episode 1 and tell you who we are. Sound good to you?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, so you go first. Who are you?
I'm Elena, like I just said. I'm a local photographer and lover of Sioux Falls. How about you?
Is that all you're going to give? I'm about to give a bio. Okay, so I'm Ashley. I am a local mom and realtor with Keller Williams Realty Sioux Falls and the Tony Ratchford Group. And I'm also an avid Twitter stalker. And I've been on HGTV's House Hunters.
So you've accomplished quite a bit more than I have in our life together. But I should mention we are twin sisters.
Yes. So if our voices sound exactly the same, it's not one person talking. Obviously, there's a video, so you can see we're two separate people. This is how people remembered us growing up. Ashley short hair, Elena long hair. And we've continued that for our adult lives for the most part.
I mean, pretty much our whole lives, yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. I never realized that.
So we are going to be coming to you every week, plan on anyway, to talk about Sioux Falls, pop culture happenings, do an interview with people that we think you should know in our community. I'll preface this by saying we have guests lined up, but if you are listening to this or on our Facebook page, which is What's Up Sioux Falls, we would love to hear feedback from you on who you would like us to do an interview with or who you think people should know in our community. So that's a little segment we're going to do down the road called Who Do You Know?
We also are going to do other segments during our show, like Made You Look. This is the premise that Ashley and I have very different tastes in shows that we like to watch.
Yes.
So Ashley's going to basically force me to watch The Bachelor and have commentary on it, where I'm going to think... I'm very excited, if you can't tell, about that.
Well, and I don't like gory crap, so I may have to watch a couple episodes of The Walking Dead and tell you how much I hate that. But that sounds like a really
terrible idea. Yeah.
How would you like to listen to us talk about crap we don't want to watch?
Another segment will be Excuse Me. Basically, things that we've heard over the week that really make us scratch our heads. There's a lot right now online that is just very strange. So we'll be kind of breaking that down and giving our opinions on that. And then other things like pop news and cool things that are happening around Sioux Falls.
Cool. So why don't we start off with talking about some stuff that's going on in pop culture in general. I want to lead this off by a Sioux Falls comment or a Sioux Falls specific pop culture thing, which is Thursday night at 7 p.m. a new episode of House Hunters airs featuring my lovely life insurance agent, Lindsay Swenson, and Aaron Reitzma from Heg Realtors is also the agent on that. I was on an episode of House Hunters in 2014, and we'll have an upcoming episode this summer. So it's really cool to see Sioux Falls highlighted again. Again, that's HGTV this Thursday night, which is the 5th of April, 2018. If this is coming later, then you can go back and find it. They generally replay the episode every Saturday too, so it'll air Thursday evening and then Saturday sometime during the day. So check your local listings for that. Some other things that are going on right now that I'm extremely upset about. And I know...
And this is non-Sioux Falls related.
This is non-Sioux Falls related. Hopefully. Oh, I was going to bring that up. Okay, so I'm going to preface the story by saying there is a website called crazydaysandnights.net. And this is a blind item website. It's really fun if you're into pop culture things or just trivia in general. Something you should know about me specifically is I have a wealth of useless knowledge. And... yeah, so I like to go to that website and kind of guess who they're talking about celebrity-wise. There's been a lot of stories about a married celebrity who is a huge flirt. And... oh, yeah, that's the website. Oh, thank you. Oh, with all the capabilities, I don't even know.
I know, I'm like, what am I supposed to be looking at?
So, there's a mayoral candidate for Sioux Falls right there on the main page. Good advertising they're doing there.
So basically, what's got Ashley upset is that somebody bit Beyonce.
No, that's a separate story.
Well, now what are you talking about?
I'm talking about Jenna Dewan Tatum and Channing Tatum breaking up.
Oh, that Love is Dead?
Love is dead.
Love is dead.
I was already upset. I should also say my mom was upset about Chris Pratt and Anna Faris breaking up.
But she was a little excited. She did admit that she wants to see him without clothes on. So
Yeah.
our mother is very strange.
She's going to listen to this.
But now she can add
email us.
Channing Tatum to her list of young Hollywood men that are available, even though my mother is happily married. But don't we all have our like celebrity guy?
Okay. My problem with this though, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, I don't think Channing Tatum is that cute.
What?
I don't know. Something about his face. He has a potato face.
A handsome face?
No.
A handsome everyman face?
His face is too round. But speaking of faces, someone bit Beyonce.
Very good segue.
I know, right?
I was not really that interested in this just because I don't really follow a ton of like the super poppy culture stuff. I do love Tiffany Haddish though, and this all came about because she wrote a book, and in the book mentions somebody at a party bit Beyonce. So people got really upset about this because apparently you can't do things to Beyonce, and everybody was like, who is it? Who is it? Then Chrissy Teigen came out and said she knew who it was, and apparently she signed an NDS, which seems weird to me, a non-disclosure. That seems very dramatic, but
if I'm hanging out with Beyonce at a party, I'm sure I'm signing one of those.
But then did Tiffany have to sign one?
Yeah. She didn't mention names. She just said it was a situation that happened. You can a non-disclosure, I don't think technically you can't lie about it. Like it can't be, you can't make something up, but if something happened, I think you can still say it, but you can't name names. I don't know.
We should probably talk to a lawyer about this.
If anyone knows a lawyer, again, go to our Facebook page, What's Up Sioux Falls, and give us a lawyer's name. We can ask the question.
I wasn't interested at all in this until, I'm not even sure why I became interested, but suddenly I'm like, oh my gosh, who did it? And they kept mentioning it was somebody big, and then it came out that it was
Sanaa Lathan, who was mentioned when they first started bringing up this situation as a potential, and she denied it on Twitter. And then, how did they ever figure out it was her though officially?
Again, I have no idea. I don't know why I care, but I do. So
interesting.
Yeah,
we'll get down to business there and figure out. Speaking of. Well, I don't know.
Well, speaking of House Hunters being in Sioux Falls,
yeah,
which is very exciting to get to see that on a national level, there are some really fun things happening in Sioux Falls over the next week or so.
Yep.
Number one, of course, is always my favorite, First Fridays. Generally, this time of year, we're outside on First Friday enjoying the weather, walking from restaurant to restaurant, having a fantastic time. Unfortunately, Mother Nature decided not to take her medication and decided to bring us more snow now than we had before Christmas. So
were they planning on having
no, which is fine. They weren't planning.
I didn't even.
I know.
Are you reading my mind?
There wasn't a concert planned, but it's always nice on First Fridays, especially starting April, May, to like finally get out of the house and enjoy downtown. And there's still a ton of reasons to go downtown this Friday and enjoy your time. Number one, all of the shops are going to be open till 8 p.m. Most of them close like 5 or 6. So it's a good opportunity to kind of bop from shop to shop. And then in between shops, Friday is the start of Restaurant Week in Sioux Falls, which is one of my favorites because you can try restaurants maybe you haven't tried before.
So where are you planning on going for Restaurant Week?
Well, there's 9 restaurants that are part of Restaurant Week this year.
Okay.
I have a list somewhere, but one place that I'm excited, I was reading through the list and it just sounded really, really good, is Bro's Brasserie, which is off 14th.
Yep. Nope. And Phillips.
12th and Phillips.
Okay.
Bro's always has great food, but there's part of their menu is going to have squash soup with honey whipped ricotta and roasted walnuts, which I just think sounds amazing. Especially they didn't know it was going to be terrible weather. It sounds perfect on a snowy day. But the great thing is any of these restaurants that are participants are going to have for $30 an app, a main dish, and a dessert, all for $30. And some of these places usually may be out of reach because you wouldn't be able to get all of that for $30.
Sure.
So,
okay. So quick segue here. My brain is going there, but squash soup.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Tell me about your squash.
I had a
soup
horrible
experience,
squash
Ashley.
soup. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to.
This down.
No, I won't. When you're ordering a soup at a restaurant and they say it's a squash soup or a pumpkin soup, don't assume that it's a savory item, because I recently went to a restaurant and ordered soup that was like pumpkin pie.
Like the
warm
consistency.
It was the worst thing I've ever eaten, and I ate the whole thing because I felt terrible.
Like you felt bad for the
I felt
server?
bad that it was so unexpected. I didn't want to seem like I was the idiot for not knowing that pumpkin soup should be sweet, but I don't think it should be.
Did you, and I'm just assuming here because
Okay.
I know you well, you probably made a big deal to the server about the fact that you were excited about this pumpkin
I
soup.
did.
Yeah. So
I
then
did.
You ate it just because you didn't want her to feel bad?
I didn't want to feel bad that I was so excited about a soup and then be like, this is horrible. So I ate the whole thing, and I should have known when it came out. I thought the little pumpkin on the top of it, like they had drawn out a little pumpkin. I thought it was like sour cream.
That's cute though.
And it was frosting.
Was it off the dessert menu?
No, it was like their featured soup that day. So anyway, restaurant week is very exciting. I'm excited to try a bunch of new things, and hopefully I won't be back next time saying that I ate something I thought was terrible.
No,
because
I mean,
felt
if
bad.
you look at the list, there's some really, really delicious things. There's a couple places on here I know I haven't tried, like Kay's Restaurant, and they have
at?
their entree is a sirloin, asparagus, mushrooms, onions, and potatoes with beef stock topped with cheese. Like all that sounded good, and then it's like topped with cheese. Always good. And then when you're done with all of that, they actually have the horse and buggy rides going.
Oh, fun.
The horse and carriage rides, which is, I think even this time of year would be kind of pretty. You can find more info on Restaurant Week and also all the first Fridays that are coming up, because every first Friday of the month they have some kind of fun event downtown, and that's at DTSF.com, which is standing for DowntownSiouxFalls.com.
Can I mention too, the Washington Pavilion is free on first Fridays to families. So, whoa.
I'm doing that. Oh, sorry. I got very
You told me not to
animated.
get handsy. Watch your hands. So anyway, that's a fun thing to do. So if you're going to go down and try some of the food at Restaurant Week, or when they do have bands going on, that's also a great place to bring the kids down. There's food trucks and live music, sometimes face painting and all that stuff. But check out the Washington Pavilion for more information, and DTSF.com.
And then the other fun thing that's happening this weekend, which I am not personally into, but I've got lots of friends who are into it, is the PBR Rodeo. That is going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Denny Sanford Premier Center. Funny story about PBR. I got very excited because my husband loves PBR, as in the drink. In the drink. And we were in Las Vegas, and PBR Rodeo has a bar.
Okay.
So I see the bar. I make a special attempt to get my husband to the bar.
Okay. I don't know this story.
It's PBR, Dan. It's PBR. And he had to gently disappoint me by telling me that it had nothing to do with the beer and was
What does
rodeo.
it stand for?
Professional bull
We
riding.
should also say, we should have maybe done this in the intro, but we are coming to you from the studios of Next Edge Academy Podcasting, or is it just Next Edge Podcasting?
I'll take either one.
Okay. So, and Bruce Hoyer is our lovely producer here today and always. So we'll be doing a little interview with Bruce a little bit later to talk about what who he is, because he's one of those people we think you guys should all know.
So anyway, the PBR,
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm not personally going. Many friends are. I'm reading about it, and it sounds actually kind of cool. It's the top 35 bull riders in the world, which I didn't know this was like a worldwide thing. Although, is it like baseball where it's the World Series? Or is it
I don't
really
know.
popular internationally?
I have a resource that I will be reaching out to.
I should have looked this up.
I recently had coffee with a mortgage lender who used to be a bull rider. Isn't that random?
I would get a mortgage from a bull rider.
Well, I don't think he bull rides anymore.
But I feel like you need a certain tenacity in both areas, right?
A little grit. Yeah, so I'll ask him.
Yeah. So anyway, after the bull riding is completed and all the other things that happen at a bull riding rodeo, they have something called Thaw Out Days, which is their after parties.
Oh, cool.
Which
Where's
is
that
at the Denny.
Okay.
And then there's musicians on Friday and Saturday. So the headliner Friday is Cadillac 3, which is kind of country southern kind of sounding, and they're really good.
Okay.
And then Saturday night is Ryan Weaver, who I don't know much about, but
Google him.
Well, you've got the computer,
Oh.
so you're gonna have to Google.
Okay.
And you can find more information about that at premiercentersiouxfalls.com or on the PBR website.
I should also mention for future episodes, our intention is to have some of these people who are coming into town for events have a conversation with them. so that we can get more information directly from the source and not just from the Google machine.
Yeah, it'd be nice to actually talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about once or twice.
I'm hoping we sound like we know what we're talking about, but we probably don't. Okay, cool. Well, that's awesome. So are you going to go down to First Fridays this year? Or this week?
Yeah, yep. I've got 2 kids. We're going to take them both down to the Washington Pavilion. And then my hope is to take them out for dinner afterwards and do one of the restaurant week things. But one of them's 18 months old and has recently found that she loves throwing stuff on the floor and laughing. So
what 18-month-old doesn't?
Well, so it's highly unlikely, but we may.
Oh, I'm just looking at this Restaurant Wars thing. I probably should have looked at this beforehand, but there's a wild mushroom arancini at Minerva's.
What's an arancini?
It's like a... Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. And
like,
I know food. What is it?
It's like a rice ball. Ooh. But like there's stuff on the inside, so like...
It's like a hidden surprise.
Well, this one's fried, so I can't eat it. But it's got mushrooms, fontina, parmesan. It's like all wrapped up with rice and then breaded, or sometimes it's just rice floured. Oh, yeah, there's some arancini for you.
How have I never... I'm like flabbergasted right now.
Yeah,
how did I not know this existed?
You eat it with like marinara or something, and they're delicious.
My husband has a fat kid that lives inside of him.
Yes.
My husband's name is Dan. We call the fat kid Ralph. He would love those.
Yeah, you should surprise
Ralph
him
would
tonight
love those.
and make him some arancini. How would Giada say it? Arancini.
Yeah, you gotta overdo the I.
Yeah, that looks really, really good.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Awesome. Well, we are.
So now we're going to talk about somebody who. Well, I gave you a list. We're going to talk about somebody in the community that you should know. This will be a learning experience for me because I just met Bruce today, so I've got lots of questions.
Okay, so Bruce, again, our producer, owner of this wonderful studio that we are at today, is the owner of Next Edge Academy and Next Edge Podcasting and set all of this up. And I've met Bruce through a mutual friend who we intend to have on the show as well, because she's one of those people that people know, but they don't know how they know her. So she introduced me to Bruce when I had this idea to do a podcast. So Bruce, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. And first of all, I apologize. I put the worst camera on me, so you guys could look way better.
Well, thank you.
But I've been doing boxing and mixed martial arts for the past 18 years. Before then, I worked at Citibank for like 11 years. Mm-hmm. And so I've been doing podcasting with our side of things for, like I said, probably almost 15, 16 years. Really enjoyed it. And cool. So I decided that, I wanted to try to open that up to other people in the city of Sioux Falls.
Awesome. So you own Next Edge Academy, which tell us a little bit about what that is.
Sure. So it is we have basically a boxing gym / mixed martial arts gym that people can come into. Most of the folks, I would say, see, it's hard to do both at this time. For some reason, my cool button where I can switch between cameras doesn't want to work right now.
Oh.
So I have to use my mouse. But so the idea is that most of the people that come to the gym, we have about 180 members, 175 members. Most of them are just doing it for fun. And then we have about 20 people that are professionals.
Yes.
That are, we will travel the country. We just got back from Atlantic City here not too long ago. A lot of times we're going to Vegas. We have a guy that is fighting on the UFC card on this weekend, which is in Brooklyn. And so all sorts of crazy travel and fun with that stuff. So.
Well, and not even cooler, because that's amazing. But I didn't realize this when I first met you, or just kind of looking at the gym. But I have friends who their kids come here. You actually have kids classes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, that's awesome.
And I got pretty excited about that because in our small conversations, then I felt like I had some ammunition to go against some of my parents, because we like joking around, and so now I feel like I have additional ammunition against one of your friends and one of my kids' parents, I should say. So
yeah, I know. The gentleman we're talking about, I ran into him one day, and I was like, "Oh, I just had a conversation with Bruce Hoyer," and he was like, "What did you say?" Probably not nervous about you, but probably nervous about me because my mouth just kind of runs off.
He just assumed that you said something terrible that nobody else needs to know, because that's what you do.
I do not do that. But anyway, regardless. Well, very cool. So you're going to be producing these for us, which is awesome. And we're very grateful for the opportunity. And also the setup is amazing. So guys, if you're, out there looking around, definitely check out Next Edge Academy. And do you have a YouTube channel for the podcast, or tell us about that?
So we also do one that's called Sioux Falls Athlete, kind of a similar thing that you guys are doing, but just based on athletes. Myself, I've won on a lower level world championship in my own sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Awesome.
And I don't think a lot of people are probably familiar with that, one, and then two, that we have a very talented group where, and so like I said, the whole idea of the podcast is just trying to get a little bit of notice out there to some of the athletes that maybe aren't known in the area, even though worldwide they might be known in their own niche sport.
Yeah.
Are we going to go with niche or niche? Which one
niche.
are you going?
Niche.
You going with niche?
I think niche. I think
right.
we're fancy.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah.
fancy.
Arancini.
Yeah.
Niche. I love it. Well, thank you again, Bruce. And if you guys are interested in more information, go to nextedgeacademy.com. There's schedules there, more information, and or again, our Facebook page is "What's Up Sioux Falls?" ?
So you can find us.
We'll put information there as well.
Yeah, we'll have information there. You can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/whatsupsf, Instagram whatsupsf, and then you can also hashtag whatsupsf for us to kind of search those and find information as well.
And while you're liking the page, we're also going to start to have polls and videos and information because we want you as a community to have conversations and kind of get the word out. And it's just meant to be silly fun. So we're not going to be interviewing any of the mayoral candidates. So if any of them come across this, we appreciate what you're doing, but
we're very proud of you.
That's not what we're doing here.
Dedication to the community, but we're not going to interview you. Sorry.
Yeah.
But if you know somebody that's doing something cool in Sioux Falls, maybe
hit them our way,
we don't know about, or something that's unique, definitely send them our direction, because we would love to hear about just strange and interesting personalities.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think that's
it for today.
That's it for today.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we have a timer going? Is that that's it total?
My clock is going off, if that counts.
We have 35 minutes, so that would be 35 minutes. You guys have been
Oh man, we got to talk more.
This is why we did a practice run, because
I really thought that we talk a lot and that we would go over. But apparently not.
Okay.
What else could we talk about?
Well, okay, this is something I'm going to pull up here. Why don't you, while we're pulling this up, give some information about your website, if people are looking for photography?
Yeah, so
Might as well plug that while we're waiting.
I've owned my own portrait studio for 15 years. I specialize in weddings, and one of the things that I love about weddings is the fact that I get to take those moments that are so special from that day and create something that you can look back on and appreciate and cherish. There's nothing better than, 10 years down the road, pulling out your photos. And number one, reminding yourself, I do this a lot, how small I was on my wedding day and how I'll never be that size again. But also because I want to create something beautiful and a memento for you. I also do a lot of newborns and maternity photos, which kind of the same thing, really important moments that need to be captured. We do too much on our cell phones, and what if your cell phone dies and then you lose all of your photos? So I'm here to take some that you can have somewhere else and have them on your walls and have it be beautiful. And then also boudoir, which is a lot of people in Sioux Falls love boudoir, which is a really fun way to get dressed up and feel fancy and feel good about yourself.
On a note, though, real quick, so you are my sister.
Yes.
Who has to force me to take pictures of me and my kids. So if if people in the universe are saying, oh, I just keep forgetting to do that, you're not alone.
No.
I'm lucky that I have you to say, hey, by the way, I'm doing these mini sessions and I'm signing you up so that you have pictures of your children in the future.
Yes. So we're doing Mommy and Me mini sessions coming up on May 6th, because I have about 2 photos of me with my children, and I have 1 million of my husband with my children. So for Mother's Day, we're doing little mini specials to make sure that moms get a beautiful picture of them with their kids, because without fail, every year we get our family photos done, and my husband gets one where him and the girls look amazing, and the one with me, they're both throwing a tantrum.
But you can take their head, put different heads on.
I
for
luckily
different
could
pictures, right?
Photoshop their heads this year, but I'm not always so lucky.
It's such a helpful talent for me personally that like I can look at a picture of myself and send it over to you and say, hey, so could you maybe make my hair longer, make my hair thicker?
The number of friends who send me just random cell phone pictures of themselves and ask me to thin their face out or make their hair fuller, it happens regularly.
Have you ever Googled like Photoshop fails where people will put a picture on some website and say like, oh, could you actually put my hand over here? And so then people just go crazy and like make it look terrible. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I wish
I'm going to put it on our Facebook page because it's hilarious.
Yeah, we'll have to put it on the Facebook page because there's a guy where you can tweet him a photo and you can say like one girl was like, she's on the beach. She looks great. But she said, you know, hey, can you make my legs look longer? So he basically Photoshopped her legs to her neck. So it's just like her head and then it's just her head.
See, I love that. I wish I had Photoshop talent where I could like, example, I have a friend who today, speaking of The Bachelor from earlier in the conversation, got access to a friend's Facebook page and posted on there that she was going to be a contestant on The Bachelor this fall.
This.
Did you? It's
you fell for it.
I did, but then he called me and said, no, it's me. I did this. But so my thought was immediately like, I wish I had the skills to go Photoshop her face on a formal dress and send it to him so he could be like, here's my audition, whatever. But it was so mean, but so funny. And people were dying for it. So if you guys see on Facebook today or in the future, any headlines or any conversation about someone from Sioux Falls being on The Bachelor, it's not true.
Well, even after she said this is somebody hacked my computer.
Yeah.
Which by hack I assume means she left it open and they just
Facebook
hopped on it.
Open, yeah. Don't do that, people.
Even after she said it, people were congratulating her and being like, I hate that show, but I'll watch it for you. And so I don't think she has yet to get everybody to really realize it was a joke. I think there's still people that really believe that but knowing her, she's not the kind of person to be on The Bachelorette.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Here's kind of a weird thing. Bruce, I'm going to tie you into here. So what the top 10 trending topic for Sioux Falls on Twitter right now is hashtag Cruiserweight Championship. Is that what you were talking about? Or is that something else? That's boxing.
That must be boxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
See that? So you earlier when we were doing the interview, you cut me off a little bit because you were just too excited. I had more questions about Next Edge.
Okay, go.
So MMA, mixed martial arts. Mm-hmm. Here, do you just have classes that are MMA, like a bunch of things, or do you have just, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong, jiu-jitsu?
We have all three. So if you are if you've done stuff before, then you can do the advanced like MMA classes.
Okay.
But for the most part, it would be like you would do either boxing or Muay Thai, which is kickboxing, or jiu-jitsu or any of those things.
And specialize in it.
After you've done those, you can do them together. But I make people wait to do those all together.
So let's say you've got somebody, for instance. So my husband had a double black belt in Taekwondo. Back in the day, like he was like 12 or something.
Sure.
So I've never seen this prowess before. I don't really truly believe, besides the fact that he's got the belts, that he did it because he's not flexible. But is that something he could easily kind of step into, having that experience?
Yeah, for sure. It would be slightly harder for him just because if he does have experience in something else.
Because he's old. Is it because he's old?
Because of like an idea they call interference, basically, that like, okay, you have something that's really close to something that you're going to be learning now. It makes it really tough. Like sometimes like my wife speaks Spanish and I speak a little bit of Portuguese. They're so similar that a lot of times when you're trying to do both of them, you get mixed up between the two because they're so super similar. And that's probably going to be the case with him, where it's going to be maybe even a little bit harder than the average Joe that's coming off the street that doesn't know anything, because he's, has some of those tendencies from when he was a double black belt in Taekwondo.
Yeah.
So that's the only tough spot, but I think it would still work out well.
Is that kind of like the theory that if you're a good baseball player, you won't be a good tennis player because the swings are different?
Right.
Yeah. You're like your body, your, what do you call it?
Muscle memory?
Muscle memory is for something completely different.
Yep.
But similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So just the idea of interference. So like when you have, like you said, things that are so closely related that it starts to impede on your knowledge on another one. So
because you got to overwrite all that stuff that's in your brain.
Yep.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I had no idea.
I think the biggest thing that that we run into is that people think that it's okay. This is because we've had a lot of accolades for our athletes. We've had 7 people go off to the professional stage from our smaller gym here, and that's pretty unknown for even major gyms in Los Angeles or New York and things like that. And so I think sometimes people get the idea that that's the only people that can join here, where we have 4-year-olds up to 55-year-olds that
That's
are just
awesome.
coming in and doing it for fun, and everybody trains together. And that's not sometimes people think that it's, I'm apprehensive to go in there because I don't want to have to go with this person that I'll watch on Fox Sports here. And
Yeah.
have to train with them. But those are some of the nicest guys that'll help you basically
Very cool.
finish out your goal as well. So
Well, they all started somewhere,
Yeah,
so they
exactly.
know what it's like to be that person that's new in the gym and
Yeah,
uncomfortable. And
Yep, and that's something, like I said, we require that of them. Otherwise, they don't need to be here. They can go somewhere else. There's plenty of other qualified gyms in the country. So
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's such a cool idea too, that, I guess at my work environment, it's kind of the same thing. It's like once you get to a level where you're at that top, and there's always a new ceiling to break and all, whatever, but you teach. Like, it's just expected that if you're at a level where people can learn from you, then you teach it.
right, and so,
Or you're supportive, or you're there to help these new people or these people struggling. Like, no, if you're not doing it right, we're going to help you, even though you're my competition, but not
Right.
necessarily in your world. I guess you're not 4-year-olds aren't competing against.
that'd be amazing, though.
probably the only thing that I have more books on than martial arts and boxing and things like that is the styles of learning and things like that. And so
Very cool.
one of the biggest, like I said, if you want to really learn something, teach it, because it'll set off an anxiety in you that, okay, I don't want to look terrible in front of people, so I either A, have to really know this, or
Yeah.
B, find out that I don't really know this, and then I have to learn it. So
That's 100% why I teach like tech stuff, is because if I'm not doing it, I can't tell you. I have
Right.
that personal responsibility to, like, if I'm saying I'm going to make all these phone calls or do all these things or create all these things, and then I don't do it, why would you listen to me? Why would you,
exactly.
Yep. Very cool. I like it. I like books. We should have a book segment. No?
It's going a little NPR with this. And now we'll talk about books.
I'm serious, though. There are a lot of really good local authors that would be great.
Are you guys books or audiobooks?
Oh, both. I double up, but they have to be different genres.
Sure.
So if I have like I do Audible on my phone, and so if I'm doing, let's see here, what do I have?
I have a hard time
queued
with
up?
audiobooks
Why?
because sometimes the voice of the person reading is like nails on a chalkboard. So I might like the book, but then the person reading it is the reason I quit reading it. So then I end up just reading it myself, but then I can't get their voice out of my head.
Yeah, now that's the inner voice in you to read.
Yeah,
that.
while I'm reading it. So like I this is very sad. I like really good books, but I also have a love for like British or Australian murder mysteries.
Why do they have to be British or Australian?
I have no idea.
My wife's the same way.
Really?
If you put it as a British one, she
Yeah,
loves it.
it's ridiculous. It's for some reason. Or if it takes place in New Orleans for some reason. Those are the three. And I assume
I'm
it's
going to
because
New
I
Orleans
read
next year.
Ooh, I assume it's because I read one and then Amazon was like, "You'd like this one," and now it's just like it's almost like when you get in a show hole on Netflix, but a book hole, because I just finished one and then immediately it's like, "You might like this," and then I'm like, "Well, now I got to read that one," and it's all weird murder mysteries.
I'll do what I was saying before. I'll do like in my car, I'm listening to How Successful People Think by John Maxwell. Okay, so that's going there. But then at home, I'm reading, the 8th book in a urban
Teen drama.
No, it's not even teen. Okay, I like
Dystopian teen novels is Ashley's like guilty pleasure.
It is a little bit.
So, do you know April Henry at all?
No, I need to write that name down too.
So that's she's not from here, but I guess she's like a big name, like teen murder mystery kind of. She was training in here the other day. She was in town for a book signing, and so she was training with us, and I had no clue who she was, and so they were like, "Hey, do you know that?" No clue. And then, but yeah,
I'll have to look it. I'll look it up.
She's pretty well known.
Oh,
my best friend and I trade off like book series, and then we got her mom involved, so it's like like Vampire Academy or
basically
whatever.
if
But
a 16-year-old reads
some
it.
very serious business books, and then dystopian teen drama.
On the business
Stuff.
books, do you feel like you need to like read those and then digest for a little while and then move on, or those can you keep those going? Because for me, I can only do like one, and then I have to wait like a month
I
and
agree.
let that kind of digest before I can actually move on to another one. Otherwise, it becomes too much.
I absolutely agree, because you take whatever you read, and this is, I think, with any like self-help or business or whatever, you take it, you digest it, you put it into action if you choose to, and then move on. But that's where I like to pepper in, the garbage, so it's not like I'm not overwhelming my brain with serious like thought processing things. It's like, oh, she's in love with, is he a werewolf? He is a werewolf. That kind of crap. So anyway, well, I think that's it for us today. So visit
Facebook.
What's Up Sioux Falls on Facebook at
What's Up SF.
Yep. You can visit me on my website, ashleybartholomew.com, where I do real estate. That's my real estate plug. It's a great website. Go check it out. I've got blogs and all kinds of fun stuff. I have a Sioux Falls specific blog that's going to be going up today.
Awesome. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Until next time, this is Ashley
And Elena.
and What's Up Sioux Falls. Bruce, our producer. You guys have a good day.